Higher? Yeah, right there.
As a parent, you want your children to come to you with their challenges and problems. However, children must feel that it's safe for them to do so. When you use positive discipline, the first thing to consider are your long-term goals of parenting. Ask yourself, what kind of people do you hope your children will become? And what kind of relationship would you like to have with them both today and in the future? Knowing this can help guide your day-to-day parenting.
In positive discipline, we learn that before you say something, you have to think about your long-term goal, not just short-term goal.
See, this is what I want at the end. How am I going to attack? How am I going to talk to my child right now, today, to get that end result that I want?
Positive discipline gives you tools that can help you achieve your goals. These tools are called warmth and structure. Warmth means caring for your child so that they trust that you will always be there for them.
For me, to show warmth, a lot of communication. We chat a lot, we talk a lot, and I've become very patient. I wasn't as patient previously. That program has really helped me to become a much more patient person. Yeah.
Warmth is about creating a climate in our homes that is warm, accepting, loving, safe, and secure. If our children are afraid of being hurt physically or emotionally, they get very anxious, they're in a state of fear, and when we're anxious and afraid, we don't learn very well.
Structure means helping your children understand how to do things and get along with people. It means providing your children with information, guidance, support, and the skills they will need to be able to peacefully solve problems.
If a child is having a tantrum, a meltdown, and they're screaming and crying and pounding their fists on the floor, it's very hard for us as adults to tolerate that. It hits us somewhere in our emotional brain, and we want to stop it and control it. And one of the gut reactions we have is to punish the child and to tell them, we might call them names, or we might just leave them lying there and walk away from them, or we might send them away so that we don't have to listen to it, or we might hit them. None of those things help the child with the issue that they're actually having. The issue they're having is that they're too young to actually understand their own emotions. They can't say, I'm feeling very frustrated. They don't have that language yet. They don't even have the ability to recognize that that's what the emotion is that they're feeling. So if we punish them, we haven't given them any skills. We haven't taught them anything useful that could be helpful the next time. All we've taught them is, we don't listen to you when you're upset. Then the next time, we can start to use that language when we see the tantrum coming. Are you feeling frustrated? Is that frustration that I see? What can we do? How can we manage our frustration? And little by little by little, they'll learn those skills. It's a gradual process, and it takes patience, and it takes a long-term view, but the end result is so worth it. You can't have just warmth or just structure, because if all you have is warmth, the child isn't getting any more information. They're getting lots of love and affection. That's all good. That's great. But if they're not getting any information to build their skills and knowledge, then they're not going to really progress toward the goals that we want to reach. If all they're getting is structure, then they're learning a lot, but they might not be feeling very loved or feeling like they have that sense of belonging. So what we know is that warmth and structure have to coexist. They have to happen together all the time in all of our interactions. That's a big objective. That's a big goal to set for ourselves. But if we set that goal, we're going to be much more likely to move in that direction.
You can help children learn about feelings by naming them, even the ones that make you uncomfortable. Start by giving their feelings a name, such as saying, I see you are really mad. This helps your child start to be aware and calm themselves. Once they are calmer, they can hear you when you try to teach them better ways to respond.
Let them know. If sometimes, teenagers, when they speak, they don't realize that they're being rude, but to them, it's not rude. That's how they are. So I will tell them. I said, when I asked you just now something and then that's how you answered, it sort of like offended me. It hurt me because I thought it was quite rude. Was I? I wasn't being rude. Yeah, you were not being rude, but that's how it sounded. It's the intonation, it's the way you speak. Ah, really?
Teaching them respect. When you respect somebody, they're giving it back to you. The respect that you want to be. You're treated like, you're a people, you're a human being.
We don't come into the world having any understanding at all about what we're feeling inside. It takes a lot of experience to sort all that out. It's very complicated and it's very abstract. So it's one of the hardest things there is to understand. And as adults, a lot of us still don't understand our own emotions. So when we label emotions and talk about emotions in a kind and respectful and compassionate way, that's what they're learning to do for other people. Children show their emotions in different ways throughout their life, but there are also some similarities across life too. I mean, we can think about the little 2-year-old stamping his feet and having a tantrum, then we can zoom to the 16-year-old slamming doors. Usually what that's all about is again feeling overwhelmed by emotion and not really knowing what to do with it all. So if we've been really, building those skills when children are younger, the door slamming in adolescence might be less because we've created this environment where they can talk about what they're feeling and not be afraid of how we'll respond.
Your school-age children have a life outside of the home. They learn that different people do things different ways, and they learn more about themselves, too.
Vijay keeps reminding me, who are we to decide what's his path? I'll be like, okay, I've got to hold it. He's the pillar of strength, actually. So he always tells me, no, if that's what he wants to do, let him try.
For me, it's simple. How are we to decide whatever decision that they're making is right or wrong? As long as it is not against the religion, the practices that we have, it's not illegal, and it is not life-threatening,
Yeah.
I am okay with it. Please explore. I will be there with you. I'll be there for you.
Children who know they can talk with their parents and learn how to solve their own problems are likely to continue to seek their parents' advice as teenagers.
For me, being a parent, it's an evolving situation. I don't know, I feel that there's no right or wrong way. And each day I'm learning something new. But what matters to me the most is I want to be there for my children when they need me. And I would like my children to come to me or to their dad if they ever need someone to talk with.
So the connection becomes more emotional as they get older. It's very, very physical when they're young because they need us. They need us to carry them. They need to grab onto us for security. But as they get older, that connection becomes less physical and more emotional. So it's really the knowledge that the parent is there and that they're going to be there to support and help and guide.
Teenagers have many different influences and may be learning ways of life that are different than what you grew up with. Talk with your teen. Explain what your values and traditions mean and why they are important to you. At the same time, respect that your teens may be forming values of their own. When you show respect, you are more likely to see it returned to you.
So when you move to this new country, it's not like you have totally shunned everything and, the fear, get that fear out that, what if my children forget the language? What if my children forget our culture? It will not happen actually if you were to adapt a little bit and hold on to what you have and explain to your children. Because sometimes in some cultures you have certain rituals. And when you tell this younger generation, this is how it's done, this is how it's done, but you don't tell them why, that's when they lose it actually.
Even as they grow more independent, your child still needs you. Find ways to stay involved in their life in a way that respects their independence.
Our involvement in their lives, now they are especially now 18 and 15, is we try to get involved in the activities that they are interested in. Like, so I know the kinds of shows that the older one likes to watch. Sometimes I don't really fancy them, but I'll watch with him. And he will select sometimes. Say, hey mom, there's this new show, it has got 2 seasons. Are you ready? Let's start watching. So he offers, so I'll sit with him and watch. And then for the younger one, he loves his video games. So Vijay will sit with him. Come, let's play together, teach me. And then he has lots of fun because dad doesn't know how to play as well, so he treasures him. So for him, it's joy.
Our family relationships are forever. They don't end when a child turns 20 or 21. They are forever, and they become intergenerational, and we become supports for our children when they become parents. So the more that connection is strong and healthy and positive and trusting, the happier everything will be as time goes on and we move into new phases of our lives. So while we might be very involved and very, in a real intensive period of parenting when our children are young, that becomes less intense as they get older, and then they gradually move out on their own. And if we've maintained a really strong, trusting relationship, that relationship will always remain, and they'll always come back and will always be connected.
Being a parent is the most important role you'll ever have. In Canada, many agencies offer programs that are open to all parents because all parents need support.
One thing that is helpful to all parents is building a social support network, knowing people in your community who you can talk with. A lot of the stress we feel comes from isolation, and that's true of all parents, whether they're new to Canada or not. So making friends is really important, and finding organizations in your community that are particularly understanding of newcomers' needs is very important. Accessing English language classes and parent supports. Just some organizations will just have activities where parents and children all come together and parents can meet each other, and just that is huge in a newcomer parent's life. Finding ways to connect with other parents is extremely important.